live one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Perfect timing, right? That's right. That's saxophonist Mr. Mo Lewis. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jazzie K Ward, your host for Artist Talk, Jazzie After Dark. Thank you all so much for coming in the show. I'm so excited tonight. Our special guest is recording artist and saxophonist Mo Lewis is with us tonight. But before we get into all that jazz, I need you guys to go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. kwardradio.com is the website. And again, as we say on the show, if you don't do any of that, you know what? Shame on you. And shame on you if you don't know our special guest tonight, Mo Lewis, but you're going to get to know him a little bit more up close and personal right here on Artist Talk. So let's go ahead and kick off the show right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much, Nicole, for that beautiful opening. I see people coming in the room. Hey, Maurice. I see my friend Castella. If you don't know Castella, shame on you. You know, she's in California. They know how to party. So is our special guest also tonight. Thank you so much. Dr. Graham is in the house. Thank you, Chef D. I see Kenneth, my friend Ron. Friday Night Live with my friend Kat Carter. And if you don't know Kat Carter, shame on you. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was a great weekend for me. I know the time change. Did that throw you guys off a little bit? Well, I actually love this, you know, the fallback. You know, sometimes I get a little confused a little bit. I love the fallback. Is it move forward or something like that? Hey, my friend, Miss Bridget Lewis. Good to see you, my friend. I see people coming in the room. Jeffrey, Don't forget voting. Don't forget to vote. It's so important to vote. And I don't really get into politics, but if you're a registered voter, please go vote. If you're not registered to vote, please go vote. And if not, shame on you. Shame on you. Spring forward. Thank you, Jeffrey, my friend. Well, tonight, let me tell you about my special guest. I've never met Mo face to face, right? But I felt like he's like one of those like just friends or somebody you've been knowing for so long, but we've talked like virtually, right? And I love his music. He has a new song that's out. We're going to talk about that. And so this young man, he attended the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston, where he majored in performance and music business. Now, he started playing the saxophone at the age of 10, and that's why he has that it factor. He has a smashing new hit called, Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie, Kiss the Girls. And like, that's my song, y'all. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Artist Talk, international recording artist, saxophonist, Mo Lewis.
Hey, guys.
What's up, my friend Mo? How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me, Jazzy.
Thank you so much for coming, my friend. Happy Monday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to like your entire family.
My whole family.
Your wife, your son?
Yep. From this point on, it's holidays all the way out.
Holiday. So what did you all do to celebrate? Like, do you all just do one celebration or you have to celebrate each one?
No, we celebrate each person individually. So we're actually, today's my son's birthday. He turned 8 today. So after I'm done with this interview, we're going to go to a basketball game at the local college here. He's a big time basketball player. He's a little guy, but he loves it.
Right. And your beautiful wife, Nicole, she also had a birthday?
Yeah, she did. She did. 25 again.
25. That's right. Happy birthday to both of them.
Thank you.
Wow. So yeah, it's been a lot going on. And don't forget, everybody, before we get started, please share the video and go over to molewis.com is the website of our artists. And, check out the website, purchase some music. Wherever music is sold, where music is streaming, you need Mo Lewis in your life. Okay, you definitely need his music in his life. And so we're going to talk a little bit about tonight his new music. This smashing hit, Georgie Porgy, it's amazing. So we're going to get a little bit into that a little later. But before we get into that, Mo, I have this segment called The Real You. It's just some random questions that I kind of pick up to ask you so we can get to know Mo outside of your professional music career.
Okay.
Business. Okay. So Mo, tell me about a time in your life where you felt absolutely amazing.
To be honest with you, I would say one of the best days of my life, aside from my wedding day and when my children were born, was a couple of weeks ago when I found out that they had at Watercolors had picked up Georgie Porgy. That was a pretty prestigious thing for me. So that's something was really exciting.
I love that. Tell me something about you that has grown in the last 5 years.
Last 5 years, I would say, I think it's, the reason why I called my EP Perfect Timing is because I think everybody has a certain time in life to be the best version of themselves. And I feel that most specifically over the last year, I've made some really important changes in my life to allow myself to be the best version of myself that I can be. And I can tell you that today I'm the healthiest and happiest. Not that I was horrible before, but I'm the most happy and grateful person and the best version of myself that I've ever been. And I don't think that, it's really any correlation how that combines with the music that you're putting out, and the timing you're putting it out. So that's why I called the EP Perfect Timing too.
Oh, I love that. So when we talk about also music, do you have one particular song, maybe one of your favorite songs that's on repeat now? What's a song you play like constantly, man?
So I'm like, actually, I can get into this a lot more later if you'd like, but I'm a huge R&B guy. I love soul music. I grew up, I really grew up in a household of smooth jazz. My parents are avid smooth jazz fans, and I think they're actually on here listening too. But I would say my heart is really, I listen to a lot of Leon Bridges right now.
Oh yeah,
It's something I listen to a lot. Yeah, I love Leon Bridges.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for that. Wasn't too bad, was it?
No, I mean, I can give you about 30 minutes on each of these topics, but I'll just leave it there. Yeah, that's just some of my background. I love soul music, man.
You love it. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and we are gonna get a little bit into that a little bit later on in the show.
Okay.
But before we get started, if we go back a couple of years during the pandemic time, right?
Hmm.
What was life like before the pandemic for you, Mo?
So, like you said it earlier, I went to Berklee College of Music, and I'll just give
Mhm.
you a synopsis of in between. Um, Man, there was a lot of amazing players when I went to school, and I got to tell you, it was quite intimidating. I've always been an entrepreneur, so I guess when I was in school, I decided to follow more of my business acumen more so than just the music because I saw the music industry changing so significantly. So I've always ran businesses. Fortunately for me, the business that I run actually excelled quite a bit during the pandemic because I actually my day business is staffing. So, anyways, a lot of the big warehouses needed to make like hand sanitizer and things like that. So, but it was also a very humbling experience because I've never had so much time to myself, and sometimes
Mhm.
idle time doesn't create healthy and good habits.
That's
So
true.
during the pandemic is really when I started my recording career. And at the beginning of it, and I'll tell you guys more about that later, but at the beginning of it, it was a whirlwind of different emotions. And I don't think it was a great time for me as it was for a lot of people out there. A lot of people struggled during that time.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people always say this on the show that I never thought in my lifetime I would even live through such a time where we were in a pandemic, but I did learn a lot about myself
Yeah,
and things that I procrastinated about, Mo, that I needed to do, that I had all of this free time on my hand. And one thing I really wanted to get back and do is a lot of people think I do music full time. That's not my full time job. I wish I had
sure.
more time as far as radio to do it. But you know what I did, Mo? I would work from home. So it gave me the opportunity. I'm an old school guy. So I like to pull out CDs and I like to just put them in my little CD. And it gave me a time to listen to some music, catch up on artists that I just haven't had a chance to really just sit. Because when you get in the car, you 9 times out of 10 when I get in the car, I'm either on the phone or
Yeah,
doing something, and
yeah.
I'm not really listening to the music. And then, right, Kurt, like Kurt said, it was just a crazy time, but God was always in control. That is so true, Kurt. And
Yep.
so I just learned a lot about me. And then I discovered new artists like yourself.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It was a crazy time for me too. And you know what? It was a very humbling experience. And
Mhm.
but it also led me to a lot of new opportunities because we didn't know what was going to happen with businesses, and we didn't know if the world was going to continue on. So it really made me really think my plan. And God knows if I would even have this career or I would have this opportunity without being in that situation. So it gave me a little bit of fire underneath me in order to do what I needed to do.
Okay. I love that. And kind of segueing into my next question, when we talk about, I know you said you like R&B, you like soul music and jazz music, but my question is, why should people care about jazz music?
Well, I think that as a jazz musician, I think that jazz has a lot of different genres. And
Mhm.
even as a jazz musician, there's some artists out there that are far beyond my understanding. I mean, it's an art form that is of such high
Mhm.
intellect. Not necessarily the way that I interpret it and play it, but just in general, very complex and really creative individuals that are just absolute masterminds. For me, more than anything else I've always used music in general as a connection of my voice. I mean, the way that I interpret
Yeah.
playing the saxophone is if I was a vocalist, this is how I
Mhm.
would sing it. And I just think it's a great creative outlet and why people should appreciate it too. understand what people are. It's another way of communicating with others, that a lot of people can relate to, a lot of people can relate to. And even if there's not lyrics in it, I mean, people can hear what's going on in your soul, if you're
That's true.
hurting or if you're excited or if you're,
Right.
roaring, people hear it, and I think they feel it. And I guess the main reason is more than anything is that feeling it gives you, that feeling
Right.
that it gives people, you know?
Right. And I tell people all the time, music is so therapeutic, right? And
Yeah.
so me growing up, in Ohio, my mom in Cincinnati, I grew up around so much music and maybe so much love that music is almost it whatever you're going through, it could be happy moments, sad moments, it tells story. And that's what I love about jazz because it doesn't have any lyrics. So I can kind of maybe analyze and put my own thoughts into
Hmm.
whatever I think the saxophone is saying, whether it's a piano, whether it's a trumpet. But I think it's an expression. Like music is one of the best forms of expression. Thank you so much, Chantel. And of course, that's what I also hear in your music. Now, when I first heard your song, I think it was "Turn It Up,"
Yep.
and I didn't know you. I don't think I saw your face or anything. I was like, man, this guy is back. Who is this? So I said, I've got to find out who this guy is. And Mo Lewis, let me tell y'all, this man has that it factor. So when
Thank
somebody
you.
has that it factor, and I know you've been doing this with 20 plus years or so.
32, almost 32 years.
Well, Mo, you look like you're about 27.
I'm 42, but God bless you.
Look, and I know you grew up in a home also with love, with music.
Oh
Tell us
yeah.
a little bit about your music journey, growing up in your childhood.
Yeah, so a common story that's told around my house is that when I was little, when I was in a bassinet, my parents actually would have jazz playing in right next to my bassinet. So, when I was a youngster, I of course I listened to pop music, and I would always fight my parents. My father would, his highlight of our family vacations was him making mixtapes from CDs to tapes. And my father was always known amongst his friends for having great taste in music. So his high point of his vacation would be making mixtapes of all his different artists that he would listen to and put them on tape so we could listen to them in the cars.
I
So,
love
as much as I would fight it when I was a kid, because I wanted to hear, I grew up in an era of rap music and pop music, and I wanted to hear those things. And
it.
it was something that was embedded in my heart, and I had no idea what was happening. And then when I grew up, I was playing a lot of sports. And then they came to my elementary school and they showed us all the instruments and asked us if we wanted to play. And I went home to my parents and I said, I asked them if I could join band, and they said, sure. And they said, what instrument would you like to play? And I told them I'd like to play the flute. And they said, son, like, we're sure we'll do the flute, but that doesn't really seem like that's something you would want to do. Are you sure that's and they were thrilled that I wanted to do music, but I actually only told them that I wanted to play flute because I wanted to play so bad. It was the cheapest instrument to rent. And so they
Wow.
said, what do you really want to play? And I said, I want to play the saxophone. And they were thrilled because they're like lifelong jazz fans. So they're like, let's go get a sax. And so that's
Wow.
how it all started. I mean, and my parents to this day have been my biggest, musical, my biggest influence and supporters ever. I come from a wonderful family. So,
Wow.
um, there's been times when, I get down and they've always been there, just picking me up, making sure I'm staying on my path.
I love that. And also you have a story I want you to tell us about. It's a high school story. Something
Yeah.
you almost got in a little trouble there, Mo, in
Yeah.
high school. Can you tell us about that real quick?
Yeah. So when I got into high school, I got really serious in music. And so, my, first of all, I ended up playing in an honor band, in high school, and it was a summer program. And, what they did is they were actually playing the music of Nat King Cole, and in the middle it was Unforgettable, and in the middle of that solo, there was a trombone player playing the sax solo, and I thought, I could play this sax solo better than he could play it on trombone. All they needed to do is hear me. This is how naive I was. I was a kid, so I started playing over his trombone solo, thinking they would hear me and give the solo to me. Well, that didn't happen, and I got called in the office, and it was a definitely a humiliating moment, and I nearly got kicked out of band for that. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for
But
sharing
this
that.
but like this is like the whole way that I've always interpreted music in general. Like, I've gotten my most I would say I've gotten my most work put in on the saxophone from listening to music that inspires me and playing along with it. I've thought I was John Coltrane and everything in between for so many years. You put on a good beat for me and I just like to play, so it
I
was a
love that.
humbling experience, but man, it was awesome.
I love that. A question from Kenneth Wynn says, "Do you play the flute? Some saxophonists play the flute."
My parents have told me that I play the flute like Jethro Tull. So I don't know if you guys are familiar. He's a little bit more of a gritty flute player.
Mhm.
But no, I'm not a. I'm actually, every time that I try to pick up another instrument and play, and I can be okay on them, but I feel like it's taking away from my progression on my own instrument. So I tend to, want to put it to the side and go back to my main focus all the time.
I love that. I love that. Hey, everybody. I am Jazzy K. Ward. My special guest tonight is international recording artist and saxophonist Mo Lewis, and you are watching Jazzy After Dark Artist Talk. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and have a little conversation, and we're going to check out a little performance from Mo Lewis right here on Artist Talk. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Artist Talk. Our special guest tonight is saxophonist Mo Lewis. And as we say, if you don't know Mo Lewis, shame on you. That's right. And my friend Colleen Kaffner says, shame on you if you don't know Mo Lewis. That's right, Colleen. Thank you so much. Another question for you, Mo. Leon
Yep.
Presley, recording artist, says, do you write your own music? And if so, how do you hear the tunes?
Yeah. So, I do write my own music, as well as I typically co-write with my producer. So my producer will send me a track that, to kind of influence me. And as far as the writing is concerned, it's something that I just hear. I mean, you just hear it, and sometimes I don't hear it exactly as it ends up, but typically when I hear a groove, it starts with a hook for me, and I hear something to play. And I have a home studio. That's where I'm at now, and I'll typically lay down some parts and I'll send it to my producer, and that's kind of how it all starts. But I
Okay.
do write it. I write all of my parts.
Okay. I love that. Hey, my friend Michael Lyles with Smooth Jazz on the Rocks. Hey, everybody. Again, tonight we're talking with Mo Lewis, saxophonist. Go over to molewis.com is his website. So right now, I want you all to check out a performance from Mo. One of my one of my favorites. I have so many favorite songs. I don't even know why I say that because it's probably hundreds and thousands of favorite songs. But this is a song I love that you perform. It's this "Can We Talk?" And we're going to check that out. And then we're going to have more conversation right here on Artist Talk. Hey, I love I
Thank you, man.
love that song. What made you want to do that song? Can we talk?
Man, I just remember being in high school and just loving that song so much. And actually, the first concert that I was ever taken to, my parents took me to, it was a Tevin Campbell, Babyface, and Boyz II Men concert. I just love that song, man. It just
I love
sounded
that
so
song
good, and
too.
I just love that song.
You know,
And the cool thing about that one, it was the first one I ever produced, actually. So I did the production on that myself.
I love that. I was going to ask you, like, what's your creative process like when you're trying to finalize or choose a particular song that you want to perform? What's that like?
I think it's really comes down to capturing a moment. And it's like,
Mhm.
as artists, we all have ebbs and flows of our creativity. And some days, one of the things that some mentors of mine, Huge Groove, told me is he says, you always hit that record button because you never know when your best take is going to come out. And a lot of times it's like your first or your second take.
That's
So, yeah, you guys may know this, maybe some don't, but I know you've had on Matt Lee. He's actually a Billboard recording artist on your show
yeah,
too.
right.
He's my best friend, and him and I are partners in crime, and we encourage and instigate each other, good and bad, through this industry together. And so, we'll hit a creative moment, and I'll send him a sound clip, and he'll say, "Oh my God, that's it," and then that's how it starts. And so, everything that we put out, one of the
Mhm,
things I wanted to tell all the people out there is just like how connected we are, and how a lot of the things that we do together. And
mhm.
it's just a lot of fun. He's a great guy.
I do. I love that. I love Matt Lee. He's an amazing. He's been on the show. I like to
Yeah.
call him one of my musical friends. But I want to talk to you also about your connection with Huge Groove, which is one of my favorites. Like one of my all-time favorite songs from him, and was my mom's favorite song from Huge Groove is Romeo and Juliet. You remember that song?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that song. So what we're going to do, Matt, we're going to go over to Dr. Chantel Graham is here with our health tip for the week. And everyone, we're going to come back and we're going to have more conversations with our special guest tonight, saxophonist Mo Lewis. So don't go anywhere. And so let's get ready for Dr. Chantel Graham right here on Art.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Dr. Graham, can we talk for a minute?
We're going to talk right now. I'm going to give you all a chance to redeem yourself this week. Last time I had to try to guess what I was talking about and no one got it right. We're going to try that again today. Okay. I'm going to give you a little more hints. So this is for you, Jazzy. We're going to talk about being proactive, but I'm going to say 90%, if not everyone, has this in their house right now. Okay. Hi, Costella. Hi, Bobby. So this, and I'm going to give you good hints too. This fruit is high in vitamin K, and you know we love vitamin K. It's high in magnesium. Remember, these things are what helps produce cells and cell growths and help produces nerve functions and muscle. It's high in fiber. It's high in iron. It helps aid in digestion. It helps lower blood pressure. It helps lower blood sugar. It helps weight loss. It's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. Now I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Throw it out there. And I'm going to give you another hint too. It's a dried fruit. Go for it.
Well, I know bananas, apples, almonds.
Almonds is a fruit.
Oh, well, no, not
Jesus Christ. You know what? Let me stop. I'm gonna stop the bleeding right now. Let me get the cautery.
I'm just throwing right now.
Someone said apples. It's not apples.
Oranges.
Nope.
Pomegranates.
Nope. It's actually peppercorn, black pepper. Oh. Pepper is a fruit. Peppercorns grow on a vine and look like grapes, and then they're dried to produce peppercorn. Now you'll see peppercorn in 3 different colors. You can see it in white, black or green color.
Okay.
Not a different fruit. It's the same peppercorn. It's just when it's harvested, it depends on what color it is. So if it's early harvest, it'll be black. If it's late harvest, it'll be white or green. Now you'll see red peppercorn in the stores, or you'll see like in the jars. That's really not from the peppercorn plant. It's actually from roses. So there's no red peppercorn or pink peppercorn. That comes from dried roses. Now keep in mind, peppercorn is also good because again, it's anti-inflammatory, it's antibacterial, it's high in antioxidants, what helps get rid of those free radicals. It helps reduces cancer. The great thing about peppercorn too, it helps absorb other nutrients. So when I say, for all you guys, you know, we talked about turmeric a long, long time ago. If you're taking turmeric in a pill form, make sure you get it mixed with black pepper, because black pepper will allow, it has this thing called, some people will say piperine or piperine. It's the same thing. It will help absorb other nutrients from other vegetables and things like that. Now, also, black pepper helps promote male fertility because it's high in magnesium, it's high in zinc. It helps fight brain disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It does that too. It helps lower blood sugar because what it does is it helps blocks the absorption of glucose and carbohydrates. And it helps aid in digestion so you can go to the bathroom a little bit more.
Oh,
So get you some peppercorn, put some black pepper, season your food, and people listen. Salt and pepper is not seasoning. It's just salt and pepper. But I'm just saying. But get some peppercorn. The other thing too, my mom and dad used to do when it came to, because you know, when we struggled financially, we did not have a lot of money. So of course they made home remedies. They made this cough syrup because peppercorn and pepper helps suppress this cough. They mix pepper, honey, and water. They would boil it on top of the stove. And for like 15 minutes, they would drain it, and you drink that. It got rid of coughs. Put on your gums, mix with clove oil, helps fight toothaches.
Wow.
Get you some black peppercorn and invest in a little grinder. You can get a cheap one that you can reuse over and over again, and enjoy some peppercorn.
I love that. Those home remedies do work. I can remember my grandparents in the country. Those home remedies, you know, we talked about by putting, is it garlic and onions in your socks?
Onions in your socks. Yep, there you go. Yep.
And it got rid of colds and all these things.
My mom still makes that cough syrup. She mixes, it's a whole big concoction my grandfather used to do. It's rock candy, onions, and it has to be Gordon's gin and something else. And then she stews this stuff down in a glass jar. I get it every year. I do not buy cough syrup.
Oh, I love it.
That
well,
a little bit.
Chef D said he makes a peppercorn sauce with steaks.
I don't believe him till he makes me one.
Oh, okay. So Chef D, there you go. Dr. Grant.
Next month for the Christmas festival. I want my peppercorn steak. We'll see.
I know, right? And you know, as you were listening to Mo Lewis, that Can We Talk? I know in the OR, as I always ask you, Dr. Graham, will y'all play Mo Lewis in the OR?
You know we are. He's gonna be in our rotation tomorrow. Does he? And when you get back to him, ask him, does he have physical disc week? You know, I still like the old CDs. If not, I will download it and pay for it, but I'd rather just buy a CD and support him directly because, you know, we got to support our artists.
We do. And Dr. Graham, let people know how they can find you.
You can find me on my website, theapplife.info. My email is drgraham@theapplife.info, and across social media, Dr. Shawnee 0730.
I do. And let them know about your book, Nia the Germinator.
Yes, my wonderful girl, Nia the Germinator. She's on that side today. She goes around fighting those 4 germ brothers. Grab your copy. We are hoping to have the Spanish version out before Christmas, and her new book will be out next year. She's taking on big virus.
Oh, I love it, Dr. Graham. Everybody, please go get this book. I mean, I don't have any children, but I read the book, even though people say it's a children's book. So if you had nieces, nephews.
We're all children at heart.
That's true. That's true.
There you go.
That's true. I do. Dr. Graham, can you stick
open the artist? There you go.
I love it. Can you stick around for the rest of the show?
I'm waiting to hear Georgie Porgy. You know I am.
You know, we can
find me a sax. I don't have one, but I'm gonna get a blow up one or something. You know, I'm gonna play.
We're gonna play it. We're gonna play a snippet of Georgie Porgy. I love that song.
Okay, I'm ready. I'll be here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take care, everyone. See you next week.
See you, Dr. Graham.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Mo. That was Dr. Graham with the Mind, Body, and Soul segment. Did you learn anything? Did you know anything about the peppercorn? I didn't know about it.
I did with the cayenne, actually. It's a great anti-inflammatory. So yeah, I do know.
You do know that. Great. Hey, my friend Sharon. Hey, so good to see you. So, Mo, we were talking about your connection with Huge Groove, also one of my favorite. So how did that connection come about, you and you also like working? Did you work with him as well?
Yeah, so he actually, yeah, he's the one that produced Georgie. And that was actually the first song that I ever recorded. That was the first song that track I ever did. And the reason why I didn't release that one first is because the record promoters were telling me that, they're saying, hey, there's not really a lot of covers out there right now, so we might want to wait
Mhm.
on this one. So I just kind of kept it in my pocket. But my
Okay.
story with Huge is, you remember I told you I went to Berkeley and then I started
Mhm.
kind of followed my business acumen as opposed to the music thing. And I started obsessing over what every saxophone idol that I had played, what kind of saxophone they played, what kind of mouthpiece, and I started buying and selling saxophones. So um, my path to being a recording artist was my good buddy Matt Lee was making mouthpieces for Huge, and Matt says, "Hey, I got to introduce you to Huge because we love Huge's music and we played a lot of his music on gigs." And so our connection to Huge was, "Hey, he has a saxophone available. Do you want to go buy that saxophone?" And that
Okay.
saxophone I bought, and it was a saxophone that I recorded Georgie on, and it's a saxophone that's my number one, very very special saxophone. And I told Huge when I met him that it was kind of my goal to start putting out some music. And so if he'd be interested in producing me, and well, first of all, when I played that saxophone, I was in his home studio, and he puts on one of his songs, Seven Large, and that was a very humbling moment for me because it's like he was one of my idols, and it's like he's like, "Here's my track, play my song," right in front of me in my home studio. That was my first time meeting him. It was like so nerve-wracking. And anyways, he said, Mo, um, I got to become friends with him. We started texting each other, and I just found a version, I think, on YouTube, and I sent him a sound clip of it. And he goes, "Hey, you want to do a song? Let's do this song. This sounds great. I have some ideas." And so that's how it came to be. And now he's one of my closest friends. We talk
Wow.
weekly, and yeah.
I love that. So a question, Vaughn says, what sax was that?
It was a Selmer Mark 6, 92,000, early 5-digit or later 5-digit, but vintage, but it's a Selmer.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Who were some of your other like musical influences that you really enjoyed
Yeah,
listening
so I mean, I would say like growing up, my family listened to a lot of Grover, so that was definitely a big influence. I would say sound wise, my biggest influence is probably Steve Cole.
to? Mhm.
Um, as far as the way that I interpret music, I feel most connected to him. And I feel the saxophone that's just overall, I'm probably amazed of their gift. I just feel like they're anointed would be Kirk Whalum. I mean, it doesn't get much more anointed and soulful than that.
No, it does, and I love Steve Cole too. I
Yeah.
love, you know, his music. But I'm glad you mentioned his name. I don't really like to compare artists, but when I was first saw you, I was like, Mo. I said, you know what, Steve Cole. I just some
I've heard it
similarities.
before. I've heard it before. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. But Mo, when I see you play, and like so many other artists, I can tell you love what you do. And for any artist that, whether it's a vocalist, instrumentalist, how important is that to love what you do when it comes to music?
I mean, I think it's everything. I'm the type of musician that I make my best music when I'm happy, and so for me, if I didn't love it as much as I did, I wouldn't have stayed the path for this long. There
Yeah.
was a time in my life where I was playing in a lot of local blues clubs, and I thought and I played some smooth jazz stuff too, but I thought that was going to be what I was going to be, and I thought, and that was enough, and I was grateful for that. But because I love it and I never gave up on it, here I
Yeah,
am today.
I love that. And this new single that you have released, Georgie Porgy, is it available for downloads now?
It is available for download. I actually have physical copies of my EP that are on order. They should hopefully be here next week, so they're a little bit delayed. It's a process, but I will have them available for sale on my website coming soon. I just don't have them physical copies in my hand, but it is available on all major streaming platforms. And I do appreciate any of the support and listens. I'm just so grateful.
I love the song. I was asking my producer, do we have the song queued up? Because if you haven't heard it, I want to share a little bit of Georgie Porgy. I love this song. Every morning on my workout at 4:30 a.m., where I get there about 5, some friends and I, it's always in my ear, the earphones, Spotify. And people always run when they see me in the park. It's like, when you stop and they're like, you're always dancing or something. We see you. And I love that song, Georgie Porgy. I'm sorry, y'all.
Thank you.
I love that song. So, producer, when you are ready, can we cue up a little Georgie Porgy from Mr. Mo Lewis? And you're going to hear it right here on Artist Talk right now. Okay, I could play that song all day. I remember.
Thank you.
I think who else redid that? I think somebody. That's one of my skating songs.
Okay.
Because we love to go skating, but it is such a nice flow. It's such a nice vibe that you did to this song.
What was it? Was it the Eric Benet version? Is that the one?
The Eric Benet.
Okay.
Yes, the Eric Benet version.
So I think that was my inspiration too. Actually, that was a version that I listened to that I was like, okay, I can feel this. Yeah,
I can feel that. I love the song, and we need to get this song to #1. I know the song is being played on Watercolors. I'm listening to Watercolors like all day in my office, and I don't think the first time I heard it, maybe I'm not sure how long it's been, but I heard it last week, and I was sitting here at my desk, and I said, "What? My friend Mo is on Watercolors. Congratulations to you."
Thank you, man. It's such a blessing. I'm just so excited, man. I'm so grateful.
I am so happy for you. Also, smoothjazz.com, the global charts. You're also on the global charts.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I think this week, I believe, I think I'm 66 or 69 or something like that. So it's only been out for a couple of weeks. So, in order for a song to really pick up its steam on the charts, it's quite a process. But, wherever it goes, at this point, I just feel very grateful and I'm excited to I'm working on some new music right now, and I can't wait to release it. And it's just the time that you can release songs is so far apart is the only thing that I get bummed out about because of a radio playtime and a shelf life. But man, I have some great new stuff I'm working on, man.
Right. I know you mentioned something on your Facebook page that you have a new song coming out. Can you tell us about that? That's coming up soon next year?
Yeah, it'll be released in the spring. It's a new song called Static. It was produced by Jeff Carruthers, and Jeff Carruthers, for those that don't know, is like he's a godfather in the smooth jazz industry, and he also, for those that don't know, actually produced a lot of the early 2000s, 90s R&B groups such as Shy. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
So he worked with a lot of artists like that, and he produced Boney James' first 5 albums, and he's been around the block. Dave Koz, Richard Elliott,
Yeah.
Paul Brown, list goes on and on. And so he's a producer, and he co-wrote the song with me, and I wrote all the music, the sax parts, and he writes, you know, the track behind me. And I have the great Eric Valentine on drums on that song.
Oh, that's my friend.
Yeah, Corny Mims is playing bass. He did a fantastic job, and yeah, I mean, just some world class artists that I'm a fan of myself. So just to be able
Wow.
to get them up, yeah.
I love that. Let me ask you this. I'm just put you on the spot. If you could do a duet with somebody, anyone, I'm going to ask you this, 2 questions. A female vocalist, anybody, any female vocalist that first comes to mind that you would love to do a duet with?
I know this might sound crazy, but maybe like I would say maybe like a SZA or something like that.
Oh, I can see that. And I could also see you not only with SZA, I love SZA, you and Layla Hathaway.
Oh, that would be a dream come true, of course. Yeah. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to do that? Come on, man.
Right. Just I could definitely hear the Layla Hathaway and even Sunshine, not Sunshine, what's her name? Somebody help me out. Another vocalist, Avery Sunshine.
Okay.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you know Avery? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I like that. What about another instrumentalist? Is anybody that you're looking for, maybe down the line, that you would like to play with?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to collaborate with other great musicians of any type, but I would love to do a song with, and I've thought about it, maybe like Peter White.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way he plays the guitar.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many great musicians out there, but yeah, I would say as a different instrumentalist, I would say Peter White.
Peter White. Yeah, I love that. And even Colleen said Mesa. Yeah, I love Mesa. I
Yeah,
love Mesa too. Yeah, she's great. But I know you went to Berkeley, and you majored in performance and music business. You hear so many stories, sometimes more about artists that didn't particularly know the business of the
yeah.
music industry. Do you think that your education at Berkeley helped you along the way to know a little bit more about this business, for you to escape some kind of horror stories that you hear so many artists go through?
Yeah, I would love to tell you that it did. What it did teach me is that it probably wasn't the right time for me to get involved in the music industry at that time, where I was at in my life, and that's for even a lot of personal reasons. As to where I was musically, where I was maturity wise, but I've just always kind of followed my entrepreneurial acumen. I've just been an entrepreneur since I was young, and I've really been learning the music as I've gone, and it's still a very perplexing business to be involved in, mind you. And I'm sure you've heard that before.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
So yeah,
understand.
I would say I learned most of my stuff through my connections and through mentoring more so than school.
Right.
But school was an experience that taught me a lot. I was 17 when I went to Berkeley, and I'm from Southern California, so moving across the country really does make you grow up fast.
Right. I always say
Yeah,
this in the words of one of my favorite vocalists, Mickey Howard. Experience is a good teacher. Right.
absolutely.
Experience is definitely a good teacher. So, Mo, can you share with us anything else that you have coming up? How people can find you, the best way to
Yeah.
find you on social media. And I was getting a lot of tweets, and people said, "What, does he tour?" I said, "Well, I will ask him."
Yeah, no, I don't yet. Right now, through the pandemic, that kind of like really changed the landscaping of the touring. And being that I'm a newer smooth jazz artist, even though I've been a lifelong player of smooth jazz, it takes some time, and it takes some songs being released and a fan base being built up before you can really get asked on those tours. So, if you guys hear my music and you hear how connected I am to R&B and smooth jazz, it's because it's a voice that I've been speaking. That's the way I hear everything. But it takes time being an established artist to get on those tours. So that would be the goal one day. That's my dream. I have a
Okay.
dream of getting on Billboard. I have a dream on maybe one day having a Billboard hit. And my last piece of the puzzle would be to go on tour with all my idols. So hopefully one day.
Yeah, well, we know it's going to happen. You are going to have that Billboard #1 hit. I promise you, my friend. I know
Thank you, man.
it is
Thank you.
definitely going to happen to you. And I just want to say, Mo, thank you so much for coming on Artist Talk. I've been anticipating this conversation ever since I heard you play the saxophone. Ever since I've heard your music, I was
Thank
like,
you.
I can't wait to have a conversation with you. Kenneth said he hopes to see you at the Blue Note or the City Winery one day.
I hope so too. I hope so too. And please do follow me on the social media platforms. Facebook is Mo Lewis Artist Page. You can follow me, molewis.com. Instagram is Mo Lewis Jazz. And in the meantime, I do plan on releasing some other tracks as they get finished, as well as I am going to be pretty regular about posting videos, even like live performance videos. So please check it out. I really respect the landscape of the business, so I'm trying to just create as much content like yourself as possible to give the people what they want, and I love it. And I get as much gratification as they do. So please look out for me.
Okay. So Castella says, where in Southern California are you?
I'm in Riverside in the Inland Empire.
Okay. Castella is also she's in Southern California too.
Okay. What part is she from? Do you know?
Yeah. So Castella, if you can put that. Yeah, she's an amazing vocalist. You all should, maybe we can have a Castella and Mo Lewis song. Maybe.
Hey, let's do it. And next time, if we have a little bit of preparation, I'd love to come on the show and play for you guys. I'm down with that.
Yeah, please come back, Mo. And any words of wisdom or advice you can leave us with for someone watching this program that you can share with us about the business, or any advice?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that is to really follow your dreams. And I think that if you believe, anything is possible. And that's just what I know, and that's what I believe. And I believe that in life, I think that human beings carry a great amount of energy, and I believe that we're able to manifest great things upon ourselves if we're good people and we do the right thing and treat others the way they deserve to be treated, and we would want to be treated, and manifest it, and it will come. And that's right. I'm living proof of it. Right. But more than anything, along the way, I'm enjoying the ride, and I'm just so grateful for the experience.
Well, as I always say, my friend, continue blessings to you. Whatever I can do to continue to play your music on WVAS, I will always continue to play Mo Lewis, any of your music that you share with us. And you're always welcome to come back on Artist Talk anytime. We would love to have you.
Thank you, my man. Thank you so much, guys. Castella will definitely connect for sure.
Yeah, and Mo, can you stick around for like 1 minute for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much. Hey, everybody. Another great conversation right here on Artist Talk. I'm JAZZIE K. Ward. My friend Sharon, it's so good. Sharon is another amazing vocalist that's also in California. And if you don't know Sharon McMahon, shame on you. But don't forget to go over to K Ward Radio, my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. KWardRadio.com is the website. Subscribe. Any artist that would like to be featured on the show, you need to mail me some information. My address is there. If you would like to support the show, no gift is too small. Cash App, PayPal. Thank you so much for all of those who have. Join me each and every Saturday on WVAS 90.7, Alabama State University, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. The show streams on WVASFM.org. My friend, Mr. Gary Smoot, so good to see you. Colleen, everybody on the show. Don't forget to support molewis.com. His new single is Georgie Porgy. I'm telling you, let's get this song to #1, guys. Again, thank you all so much for all of your support. Thank you, Dr. Graham, Chef D, Mike Murray, the Owner B, everybody that supports the show. Thank you all so much. I look forward to being back with you on next Monday, where we can do this all over again. Hey, Deborah, thank you so much for joining me. You never know who our next special guest is going to be, but don't forget to go over to molewis.com. Again, this is JAZZIE K. Ward saying, have a great night. Remember, make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to others. See you next time.
adventure.